Alright, so this is Revenge of the Gator. I picked this one up recently at a microplay. It was really cheap. I saw the cover and barely recognized it. I mean, I saw the title Revenge of the Gator. I don't think it said pinball on the front, or if it did, I didn't notice it. But right away, I kind of recognized it. I knew it was a pinball game. I don't remember where I've seen this. I think it was in an old Game Boy player's guide. Like Nintendo Power used to do these guides like once a year. If you were subscribed to Nintendo Power, you would get, like, one was a guide on all the Super Nintendo games, and one was a guide on all the Game Boy games. And I had all those guides at the time. And I'm assuming this was in there, and that's where I've seen it, and that was a long time ago. But it piqued my interest, and it was cheap, so I grabbed it. Turns out it's actually a really good game. This game was developed by HAL Laboratory, so the same people that brought you Kirby, and it kind of shows. They got the cute little sprites going on with the little alligators, and you know, this game is simple enough to work on a Game Boy. This is a really early title. I mean, it came out in Japan in October of 1989, and it came out in North America in March of 1990. So it is a really early Game Boy game, and it fits the system almost perfectly. The idea of a pinball game, it's simple enough, but yet it is something that only a video pinball game could be. I mean, you've got multiple levels as you work up the play field. Do they call it a play field? What do they call it in pinball? I am not a pinball. I am not a pinball expert. And then you've got several bonus levels. I saw one of them in this playthrough. I don't believe I got to the other one. I've seen at least two so far while playing this game. So there's at least two. There's possibly more, but they're separate screens altogether where you know, your ball moves to a new area, and it's a little bonus game. So there's quite a lot going on for a simple pinball game, but I mean, it really works on the Game Boy. The really only issue I have with the game is the way the play field scrolls. It kind of does it in these half-screen stutters. But you get used to it. It's a little jarring at first, but again, you get used to it, and it works. So maybe it was too hard for them to do smooth scrolling, or on the flip side, maybe they thought it would get too blurry. I don't know. But yeah, this is a great game. Super fun, cutesy graphics, and just the perfect game for an early Game Boy game. It really is. I love the way they did the controls. It's so simple. Any direction on the D-pad, you know, toggles your left. What do they call those things? Paddle? Again, not usually a big pinball fan, but yet I love this game. Anyways, yeah, any direction on the D-pad actuates the left paddle. A or B buttons actuate the right paddle. So it actually makes sense the way they did that. I'm not sure if that was common for pinball video games at the time. It actually got me thinking about, I used to have on the Atari 2600 a really basic, I think it was just called Pinball. But I liked that when I was a kid. But I'm looking back at it now and I'm wondering, how did they do the controls on that one? With a joystick and one button. Was it left and right on the joystick? That would make sense. But this makes even more sense. This is a great idea, the way they did the controls on this game. So this game went so-so, and that's kind of the way it goes with pinball for me. I think part of it's just random luck, of course, but you know, the best I've done, I think, is 295,000 points. I did that on the real Game Boy. I think the top 3 best scores I've ever done was playing it on the real Game Boy. And whenever I play it on an emulator or on the Super Game Boy, I don't do as good. I don't know if it's a coincidence, looking at the bigger screen. I don't know. Something about when I have the real Game Boy in my hand, I tend to do better. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but yeah. Anyways, great little game. I picked it up pretty cheap. I think the price charting price on this game is pretty cheap. So It's definitely one to pick up if you're a fan of the old Game Boy. So yeah, I guess that's it. If you've played this game, let me know what your high score is, and see you guys later.